day here in Gauteng. I'd like to welcome all the participants that are joining us on different platforms, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, to this conversation. I'm very excited to be facilitating this conversation with women in industries on behalf of the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition of the Republic of South Africa in partnership with the GCIS. My name is Lerato Mataboge. I'm the Deputy Director General for Export Promotion, Export Development and Outward Investment Facilitation at the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition of South Africa. And I'm joined in conversation today by a group of very, very powerful women who have made significant strides in their respective industries to really talk to us about some of their experiences and how they've navigated the landscape, both in the public sector and in the private sector, to get to where they are, and really to get to learn about what sustains them. We are mindful that Women's Month is over, but conversations about women and learnings from women are conversations that should never end. We will continue them throughout the years. We'll continue them throughout the many decades until the empowerment of women is an actual reality. So I'm joined today by Ms. Susan Mangole, who is the Chief Director for Industrial Financing in the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition. And she's responsible for the actual design and implementation of financial incentives that the department offers to private sector in the economy. I'm also joined by Ms. Piwe Marumo, who is the head for continental coverage at the Industrial Development Corporation and is responsible for deal origination as well as activities on the African continent. I'm further joined by Ms. Nomazizi Sipondo, who is a deal maker for the Umnoto Fund at the National Empowerment Fund, and Ms. Nozipho Matsamela, who represents a multi-million rand go-to-market company, which is 100% Black women-owned and managed concrete mixing company. I'm also joined by Ms. Tebogo Mosito, who is representing Ditsogo Investment, Ditsogo Engineering and Mining Projects, and she's also actually a coach, an SMME coach. So I'm quite interested to get some nuggets from her for some of the SMMEs that have joined us in this conversation. Now, without further ado, I'd like to give an opportunity for us to see a very short video about the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, and then we'll begin our conversation.
Thanks to our incentives and policies, the DTI maps the way forward in building world-class industries and investments for the economy by cultivating it through agro-processing and sewing the fabric of our textile and leather industry. We grow the economy by assembling our dreams into vehicles of success and by wielding our vision of inclusive economy, by deepening the roots of our economy, by supporting the green industries, growing a healthy and globally competitive pharmaceutical industry, by unleashing our creative talent and sharing it with the world, and creating a competitive business environment. The DTI towards full-scale industrialization and inclusive growth.
Great. I would like to give an opportunity to each of the ladies. I think it's the right thing to do. You know, they've taken time out of their work schedule. So I just want to give their employers just a little bit of time for them to tell us a little bit about what they do in their professional capacity. And then the bulk of the conversation really is about getting a sense of who they are as individuals, getting a sense of who they are as leaders, specifically, and as female leaders as well. So we'll take the first few minutes of the session just to learn a little bit about what the ladies do and the organizations they represent. So I'll start with you, Ms. Mangole of the DTIC. Please take us through what it is that you do and how you pay your bills.
Oh, good afternoon. Thank you, Mrs. Mataboge. Good afternoon, colleagues. I know that ladies and gentlemen, the participant and both the panelists. My name is Susan Mangole. I'm working for the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition under the Industrial Financing Division. My role, just like Mr. Matabo has mentioned, I'm responsible for the development and implementation of the various financial incentives, and then that we actually offer. The branch offers industrial cash incentives. It also offers tax allowance. It also offers loans. The loans, we are offering a blended facilities with both the National Empowerment Fund as well as the Industrial Development Corporations. So the loans that we also offer, they are much cheaper, but Piwe and the colleague from the NEF will go into details. In terms of the grants that we offer grants to companies that requires productive assets, that also require to go and market their products in other key markets globally. We also offer funding for skills development. We offer for industrial infrastructure. Furthermore, we also offer for business development. If you have to do registration with the Bureau of Standards, you need to get your products met certain quality standards. You need to register your product globally, so that we offer that part of financial support. Our financial support is offered as a cost sharing to various companies. In terms of what we are currently also working on, it's also to expose groups that were previously excluded. So our benefit goes more into the favoring the previously disadvantaged, but moreover favoring women. In the last 2 financial years, out of 1,500 companies that we have supported, 602 of those companies are women-owned across various sectors, starting from agro-processing, manufacturing, as well as within the innovation space. And then we also have taken a couple of companies abroad to also market their products. Mrs. Matawore, that's in summary where I'm coming from the DTIC. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Susan. I'll now hand over to Ms. Piwe Marumo, to also take us through her professional responsibilities.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lerato, and thank you very much for the opportunity to be a part of this very important conversation this afternoon. As has been said before, my name is Piwe Marumo. I am with the Industrial Development Corporation, which is a state-owned development finance institution under the stewardship of the DTIC. Specifically where I sit is I'm responsible for IDC's deal origination and coverage responsibilities on the continent. What essentially that means is we work very closely with Lerato Mataboke's team to support South Africa's industrialization efforts, or rather to link South Africa with regional markets and regional markets with South Africa. So what that means in essence is we expand, of course, our industrial mandate, which is to deepen the capacity not only of South African industry, but also of regional markets in which we also extend funding towards. So this means that we will support South African businesses that are looking to expand into markets outside of South Africa. We will also support regional integration efforts or opportunities that look at import substitution. So where we are reliant on importation of certain products, we would like to deepen that productive capacity in-house, either deepen that productive capacity in South Africa or in other markets on the continent where they have a better competitive or comparative advantage, so to speak. So really ours is to support the interconnectivities between regional economies and certainly support the broader Africa Free Trade Agreement objectives, which is to certainly see us trade a whole lot more with each other. And really where Susan comes in with her products is to enable us to blend our funding as a DFI so that we can make our funding towards yourselves a bit more competitive. And certainly ours is to look at an expected source of additional funding so that we can do more with what we have, given that we have been impacted in a huge way by COVID world over. So I'll leave it at that for now, but it really is ours is to support South Africa's broader regional integration efforts. And you're certainly on our radar to support you as you grow in future or as you grow currently into other markets as well. Thank you very much, Lerato, and thanks to the other panelists.
Great. Thank you very much, Piwe, for that background. I would now like to ask Ms. Nomazizi Sipondo of the National Empowerment Fund to also give us a sense of what it is that she does. Nomazizi.
Thank you, Lerato. My name is Nomazizi. I'm a deal maker within the Umnoto Fund at the NEF. So my key role basically is to execute transactions. So we get transactions through our pre-investment fund. They come to the funds. There's about 5 key funds at the NEF. So you've got the Umnoto Fund, which funds deals from 2 million to 75 million. You've got Imbewu Fund. It does 250 to 15. And then you've got SPF. You've got the Rural and Community Development Fund, which mainly does rural transactions on communal lands. And then we've got our Women Empowerment Fund, which looks at 51% Black-owned led businesses. The NEF has, we support women-led businesses, and that's shown through our portfolio. Right now, we've funded over 10 million. We've approved over 10 million transactions. And about 40% of that has gone to Black women entrepreneurs. The NEF has basically had an impact on women through the nature of investments that we have approved and dispersed into the economy. We led by women. Our CEO, as you know, is a woman. We've got, our staff is made up of over 60% women. I report to a woman. There's 2 managers that I report to that are women. So we're very keen to participate in the presentation today, just to show our support for women, to show our support. Later on, I think we're going to talk about how we navigate as women in the space. So you'll see us showing how the NEF has supported women participation in the economy and Black people in general, and how us women in the space, cope and basically deal with the challenges that we face. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We're quite excited to hear about the strides that the NEF has made in the empowerment of women. And it sounds like it's not just window dressing. So we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the conversation. I'd now like to ask Ms. Noho Matsamela, who is actually in the private sector, to give us a sense of what it is that she does. And we'll then take it from there. Nosipo? Is Nosipo with us? All right. Ms. Tebogo Mosito is also a businesswoman, a young Black businesswoman who coincidentally happens to be, I just noticed now that I'm reading her bio, happens to be my homegirl from the Northwest Province. Ms. Tebogo Mosito, please take us through what it is that you do and what your company does.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tebogo Mosito, and I'm the owner of DTIC Engineering and Mining Projects. It's one of the few women-owned companies that specialize in fabrication of metal products. We manufacture rolling stock. We do repairs and maintenance on ventilation pipes, extraction fans. We also do quite a lot of conveyor structures, structural steel, not only for the mining industry, but also for the private sector. So as a woman, I find it very difficult to tap into these industries, but because of my passion, I'm always willing to learn. So during this COVID-19, we introduced, underground support systems. We do a lot of underground toilets for the mining industry as well. And I'm based in Rustenburg. I do have a factory where we employ qualified artisans who assist us in terms of manufacturing and delivering the quality work at the mines. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So you're not only my home girl in terms of the province, you're actually my home girl in terms of the city, because I'm a Rustenburger myself, but we'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah,
so welcome.
Thank you so much.
It would be great to work as Setswana if we could, but we have to accommodate everybody. So
and because, some of the audience are from rural villages and they also need to connect with us and really understand what we are talking about.
Yes. No, I think we'll have a dedicated Setswana session for the Northwest.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, Tebogo. Nosipho Matsamela, who has joined us. Thank you so much. Nosipho is also another businesswoman, Black businesswoman. So I'd like to give an opportunity to give us a sense of what she does and what her business does. Nosipho?
Hello, everybody. Like she said, my name is Nosipho Mchamla. I'm based in Leboa, which is in Limpopo. I supply ready-mix concrete to construction companies, both small, medium, and large. And thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, ladies, and thank you for giving us a sense of what it is that you do. I think all of you are playing a critical role in the economy, whether it's through access to finance, through supporting businesses, and those of you that are actually in the enterprise space, particularly Nosipho and Tebogo. We're quite happy to hear from you and to learn from your journey. Before we start, I think all of us as South African women, private sector or public sector, have been impacted by this thing that we've had to navigate called COVID lockdown since March. How have you coped, ladies? How have you survived the period of not having the flexibilities to go where you need to go, of balancing your private life and your professional life? Because all of a sudden we all have to then be performing both professional responsibilities in our private spaces. And for some people, it creates a bit of a challenge. For some people, they're thriving in it. So I'm interested to hear what your experiences have been around this. I'll start with you, Piwe.
What a journey it's been. Yes, I am on. My apologies. What a journey it's been. I guess we have 5 months of hindsight. Naturally, in the beginning, it was overwhelming because we'd never been here before. Certainly, I'd never been here before, but as a global community, we'd never been here before. It was, I think, for me, the initial shutdown. I think the hardest was the... calendar and my responsibilities, as well as honoring my immediate obligations, which were sprung on me to assist my small children to navigate school still. So that was hard. I must be honest. Some days were better than others. There were harder weeks given what was on one's personal agenda. But what this time has taught me as well is it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say you are not managing and it's overwhelming. It certainly, I think, helped me to be more vulnerable because there certainly were times where it did get a bit much and it was a lot. More specifically, the fact that you're dealing with something that is such a big unknown, you know, and each week there's a new symptom, you know, and as much as you want to support the process by doing the best you can, to wash your hands, wear your mask, limit interactions, but you're just dealing with this ghost, you know, that's been thrust on you. That on its own ushers in, you know, another set of anxieties. But I think we've since settled, and which is what time does in some ways. It's gentle and delicate that way. And I think I certainly took the window to take my son back to school when that was possible. Because I simply was not doing a great job at teaching him, to be honest. It really wasn't possible, given the different balls I was juggling. So that helped. And I think it was best, I think, for all of us, for my temperament, for him. And thank God, you know, it's worked.
All right, we're going to cut out of that Women in Industries discussion.